online alternative education programs geared towards summer school and credit recovery solutions for our at-risk high school students. So about today's agenda, Tamara just walked you through the webinar participation. Again, if you have any questions during the presentation, please type them into the chat box, and we'll try to get those handled. Also, make sure you mute, so in case you're typing or taking phone calls, that you please don't interrupt the flow of the presentation. A couple things we're going to talk about in today's agenda. We'll give you a quick operating history of InnovatED and some of the background of Pinnacle. Talk about credit recovery trends and research that we're finding out there in the marketplace today. Specifically discuss the elements of our summer school program, give you a demonstration of the coursework and the environment, and then also a quick question and answer session at the end. So that's what we'll be doing today, and as we said, please feel free to chime in with your typed in questions. So from an operating standpoint, Pinnacle Education has been in existence since 1995, serving alternative ed kids primarily in the state of Arizona, dealing with at-risk students, high school dropouts, kids who were not doing well in traditional school environments. To date, we've served well over 100,000 students in the last 15 years, running 5 full-time face-to-face alternative school sites, and then currently I have a full-time and supplemental statewide online program. If you don't know, in Arizona we have currently 14 statewide distance ed programs, all competing for students. Next year we will actually have 51 authorized providers, which means we've got to be really the thought leaders and highly competitive out there in providing quality services that meet the needs of our students. As a result of doing the programs we've done here in Arizona, we expanded out through the InnovatED brand about 3 years ago, starting to work with partnerships with public and private schools across the United States, basically to help them develop the infrastructure and the back-end support systems to be able to effectively implement an online program. And as we all know, basically it takes probably 3 to 5 years to build out something like this at a quality level if you'd be doing it on your own. And our point is that the core competency of schools is to work with students and to help them achieve, and not necessarily to build technology infrastructure. So we provide that technology infrastructure and core content and curriculum, in addition to, from running our own schools, sets of best practices and procedures in how to effectively serve those students in an online learning environment. Now, a little bit about credit recovery and a few of the facts out there, and don't want to spend a lot of time, but just to build a little bit of background. Some of the things that we see is that off-track students are 3.5 times more likely to drop out than on-track students. And basically what we find is a lot of our students start failing core academic course requirements. What we know is in most environments, students can make up a single course in summer school. They might be able to make up a second course in summer school. Typically, whenever students have failed a third course or more, it's almost a direct correlation to the likelihood of them dropping out of high school at some point in time. So what we are proposing with our credit recovery and our summer school solutions is an opportunity for those students to regain their credit status as soon as they possibly can, allow them to get back on track with their peer group so that they don't fall so far behind that they can't recover their status and graduate on time. Secondly, that 75% of students who fail a single class in 9th grade have an overall GPA of less than a 2.0. And what we're finding is a lot of kids, whenever they're coming into the high school, it's a different environment than what they faced in middle school. They're not academically prepared. They're not ready out of the gate. But that freshman year is key for them, because that's the foundation or the building block for the rest of their high school experience. And if they're failing classes in 9th grade, it's almost a direct indicator of dropout potential and then low academic performance overall. And then finally, the graduation rate for students failing 2 classes drops to 68% compared to 86% for those with no failures. Again, an early indicator that students are in trouble as we start to see multiple class failures. And conceptually, the idea is to recover those credits as soon as possible, keep the students on pace with their peer group, and lead them to a successful graduation outcome with their peers. Some data examples here, just for the sake of example. In urban settings, more than 50% of Chicago freshmen fail a course in their freshman year. And, you know, that was kind of staggering, because we've asked schools and districts across the country, you know, what is their course pass rate or course failure rate for students at various grade levels. And people, when they tell you what they think it is, will tell you that it may be somewhere in the neighborhood of, you know, maybe a 10% or 20% failure rate. What we're finding is that if you look at the number of failures and the number of units failed, most times it's between 30 and 50% of the students fail one or more courses. And again, going back to the previous slide, we talked about the more courses failed, the more likely they are to be dropout candidates. Also, in this urban setting in Chicago, what they found was more than 40% of the students in the freshman year miss more than a month of school. And what we found over the years running our own alternative ed programs is there's a direct correlation between school success and attendance behavior, because what we're finding is the more courses a student is failing, the more behind they are in their courses, the less likely they are to attend. And, you know, it'd be kind of the same thing that we would talk about in the workplace. If we weren't getting paid to go to work, we probably wouldn't go to work. Well, if the student doesn't think they're going to earn credit in the class, or they're going to have the opportunity to pass the class, they're less likely and motivated to show up and attend. Another data example quickly in Texas, Houston Independent School District, as of November of 2010, had 6,127 kids enrolled in online credit recovery courses, taking 9,700 courses. What we usually find is it's about one and a quarter to 1.5 courses per student for credit recovery on average. So you find some students need 1 course, some students need 2, others may need 3 or 4. But again, online learning being used in the Houston district, and then also Dallas and Austin reported serving over 4,000 students each in online credit recovery courses. What we're finding across the country with this is that unlike the traditional evening school or summer school options that require students to be physically present in a location to take the class, the online course delivery, as it does for adults who take online courses, meets their needs with regard to flexibility of time and availability of delivery of that course, which fits better into the lives and the schedules of our students. So now a student who fails a course doesn't have to wait until the next semester to take that course. They can start doing the credit recovery almost immediately and do it in an online environment in addition to their traditional school calendar, so they can regain that credit, get back with their class, and stay on pace toward graduation. So what we're finding is the flexibility and availability of online learning opportunities greatly enhances access to credit recovery opportunities for kids in our schools. Now, with regard to our experience here in Arizona, we typically do about 10,000 units in Arizona every year. We find a peak in those enrollments in the month of March through May. Typically a lot of credit recovery taking place by seniors who are waiting to or trying to graduate with their class. So we see a lot of activity there. We also are promoting in Arizona a summer school program that we're calling like an early summer school start program. And what that does is gives our students an opportunity to take their summer school classes before the summer session actually begins. So what we're finding is a lot of kids who are in competitive athletics or that have family activities going on over the course of the summer want to take summer school, but they don't want to, or they need to take summer school, but they don't necessarily want to spend the time during the summer to do it. So we're actually doing an early start program here in Arizona where kids would have the opportunity to take that summer school class starting in March or April, get those courses out of the way, and then have the summer free. And again, a lot of kids, those kids are competitive athletes. A lot of them are people who are traveling over the summer, want to participate in programs where they maybe are traveling abroad and don't have consistent access to the internet. So they want to take those classes in an online environment before the summer school session begins. Now, for our summer school option, we have actually 2 programmatic options that we will be able to talk with you about. The first one is our InnovatED partnership solution. This would be for schools and districts that are looking for a more extensive, broader partnership solution where we can actually create a customized solution based on the needs of your specific school or district. We also are looking at helping schools and districts provide more of a long-term solution for alternative education needs, because we're delivering courses now into alternative schools, into credit recovery programs, into summer programs, and there's a way to maximize the use of the delivery platform across multiple environments, and our sales staff can talk with you about that at another time. We also have the ability to utilize school or district instructional staff. From our standpoint, you can either choose a model where we teach or you teach. Some schools and districts want all of their teachers to teach the courses that are being offered to their students. Others want our teachers to teach all the courses. And still others want some blended approach where they may have teachers who are available to teach in one or two of the subject areas and not have it in the others, and we provide those fill-in courses. We can integrate this with your school or district technology infrastructure, so it becomes somewhat of a seamless implementation for you, and then also brand it and skin it and make it look like it belongs to the school, even though we're running the back-end infrastructure behind the scenes for you. The second approach for smaller implementations that would not be fully district-wide could be our Pinnacle International Online High School. It's a fully accredited institution. We just have received again our review by the NCAA, and we're approved as a private high school with them, so our courses are accepted by NCAA institutions. We're staffed with licensed certified instructional staff. Have a lot of experience in proactive engagement and intervention strategies, and what this does is provides an easy, low impact for the partner school districts. So if someone wanted to go out and buy 50 or 75 courses for their students to take to meet a specific need, we can facilitate that very easily through a partnership with the Pinnacle International High School program. Now, in looking at this, some of the pros and cons up here, you can see they're all cloud-based, accredited, open entry, open exit courses taught by certified, licensed staff. Have a great course selection that we can get our staff to get out to if you're interested in this. Student performance tracking is integrated into the product, but for the brandable solution, that is an InnovatED partnership program, and then all the features with regard to curriculum and content customization and teacher responsibilities, things like that, are on the InnovatED partnership side as opposed to available in the Pinnacle International High School. In the partnership model under InnovatED, if the local district staff is teaching the course, the hosting of that course is $125 per half-credit course. If we are doing the teaching, it's $225 per half-credit course, obviously because of the instructor and the intensity of our involvement in that. And then also in the Pinnacle International High School side, which is taught by our instructor, it's also $225 per half-credit course taught by our instructional staff. Now, at this point in time, I would like to turn it over to Tamara Kemper, our Director of Training and Implementation, to do a quick demo for you of the product, give you a look and feel as to what it looks like in the implementation and setting, and then we'll open it up when she's done to any questions that you might have for us about the product or the offering. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Matwick. My name is Tamara Kemper, and I am the Director of Training and Implementation, as Dr. Matwick said, and it is my job to help schools get their programs put together and running the way they need to so that students are successful. What I'm showing you right now is what a student would experience. So this might be your summer school student who's trying to catch up on a semester of algebra and a semester of Spanish during their summer credits. So what they're going to see over here on the left-hand side, this is kind of like their student assignment notebook that they would have in a face-to-face environment. And so this is the due soon section. It's going to list all of the assignments that are coming up due this week, including anything that might be past due. So you can see that this assignment here was actually supposed to have been turned in on Thursday of last week. And then we'll list ones due today, tomorrow, and so forth, so that the student knows exactly what they need to get done to be on pace with the course for all of the courses that they're enrolled in. You'll see some of them are listed with algebra, some of them with Spanish, so it makes it nice and simple for the student to stay organized. If the student clicks on a particular item, so let's say they want to go right to this quiz, they can click on the item and it will take them directly to that item in the course, so they can start working on it right there in their course, and all they do is just click the start button and off they go. So you can see the navigation for students is very, very simple. Many of the items are going to be automatically graded, so the students will get instant feedback as to whether or not they were successful on their assessment. I'm going to go back out to the home page. So back here on the student homepage, another really great feature is that students are going to be able to see right off the bat what their overall grade in the course is. You can see I'm doing very well in algebra. I've got a 72%. However, I'm having a little bit of trouble here in Spanish. I've only got a 16%, so it's turned red on me and it's showing my grade. If I want to know a little bit more about what's wrong with my grades here and maybe where I'm falling behind, I can click on that grade icon and it's going to take me right to the grade book where it lists all the different items that I'm responsible for the whole course, including their due date, when I submitted them, and then the score that's listed there. So if I want to see, okay, what did I do here? Why did I get such a low score? I can click right on that item and I can see all of my items, and it looks like, well, I didn't answer very correctly on those. So that's going to show me why I've got a poor score. I can also go in, and if I want to, I can even change my targeted end date to go faster if I want to. I'm going to click back on my home screen one more time and show you the last feature of the home screen, which is any announcements from the teacher, and that way teachers and students can stay in close connection. So either that's our teachers here in our virtual learning center, or if you choose to teach your own courses, that would be your teachers posting announcements to their students. Finally, as students want to view the assignments in their coursework, they click on the View button from the home page, and that's going to take them back to the screen we saw just a few moments ago. You'll notice with the organization of the course that everything is organized over here on the left-hand side of the screen, kind of like a table of contents. And then within each of the modules, you'll see they are labeled as units, including a midterm and a final exam. And so as students navigate through, they open up the folder, they click on an item that they want to begin with, and they can begin navigating either using the left and right buttons to move forward and backwards, or by simply selecting an item over here on the left-hand side to be able to view it. So in this case, we've got a video of a culture video. And so in this particular instance, they're going to be able to listen to a native speaker. They're going to be able to see some sites in Mexico and to learn more about the culture. And those types of activities will be interspersed throughout the content, including discussions, quizzes, and other practice. In our world language course, just as a side note, we have integrated a technology called Tell Me More, which allows students to practice their reading, writing, listening, and speaking skills. It is a language acquisition software. Really helps the students to be able to get that practice element that they would have in the face-to-face classroom. So that gives you a really quick idea of what a student experience would be like for students in our summer school program. And I'm going to just close our presentation here by turning it back over to Dr. Matwick to answer any questions or just to kind of close up our presentation.
Thanks, Tamara. Anything from anyone in the group that we could answer? Any questions or anything we didn't cover in the presentation that you would like to see? Okay, I guess Tamara did a great job covering everything. Oh, I'm sorry, we do have a question coming in. We had a question come in, can you provide an idea of success for the students? That's an actually really interesting question because there's a lot of concern about students taking independent online credit recovery courses. Basically, in partnership with our district level partners, we're currently running at over 85% success rate, which means students passing courses that they've taken in this particular environment. Again, part of that is in the training and implementation model that has to do with our staff training the local staff in how to effectively support students who are taking online courses. It's a big mistake to think that any high school student is going to go in and jump in and just immediately be successful in an online course. There's a lot of proactive intervention both from the teacher on our side of the equation and the local staff that knows the student well and has the opportunity to get that face-to-face environment that's critical for student success. We have a great track record of supporting district partners in that opportunity and making sure that our students get the best experience that they possibly can. Okay, and next one, how quickly can students progress through the courses, and do you have a way to slow them down if they're not succeeding? Ashley, that another great question. We provide the open entry, open exit opportunity for the students within the course, but what we do is we gate the course at the midterm exam. So there are a number of things that we can do depending on your district and how you choose to do it. We could conceivably break the course into weekly requirements that students have to meet. As we do, we gate the course at the midterm exam so the student cannot get into the midterm exam until the instructor has reviewed the work, made sure that the work is up to the quality standards that we would expect. And then we also have the ability to reopen assignments and allow the students to go back and redo the elements that they have not successfully completed or that are not up to the standards or expectations of the teacher in the course. So there are a lot of controls that we would build in, and that would be a discussion with regard to our staff in the implementation model and the staff in the partnering district to say, you know, here's how we want the course to operate, and then we'll teach it to the standards that you impose. So if you want to have gates, we can put the gates in there. If you want to keep it completely open, we can open it up. But out of the box, we have the gated midterm exam to make sure that students can't progress past the midterm without a review of their academic progress and a teacher approval of them taking the midterm. Another question, what if I have teachers that would like to modify a course, for example, students with special needs? Within each one of the courses, addressing the special needs issue first, we do have a resource folder built into each one of the courses that we provide to support students with learning disabilities and special needs in the online environment. And that would include a series of study guides and structured activities that support the learning of the student in the individual courses. So that's the first answer on the special needs side of it. With regard to teacher modification, if your school or district chooses to teach the courses, again, we could make available to you at your request in the implementation plan to either lock down the courses so no modifications can be made, or open the courses so that local teachers have the opportunity to adapt and add to or resequence the content and curriculum. Again, there is some training involved, but compared to most other learning management technologies out there, the training is very minimal compared to what most would have, and there's no need for an instructional designer or a highly technical person to be able to do that. But we do have the ability for the partner districts that want to choose to teach their own courses to go back in, edit, resequence, add to the course and curriculum based on local or state standards that they feel need to be covered differently in that implementation. We had another question come in, and it says, what is the typical implementation time frame? Implementation time frame, a lot of it has to do with regard to the size of the implementation. From the standpoint of the Pinnacle International High School, it's fairly simple. We have teachers in that program currently teaching courses. That is just a matter of registering the student and getting them started. With regard to the district implementation, the timeline is going to be contingent on the complexity and the size of the implementation that we're doing. Typically, we can get this up and running in 3 to 4 weeks with regard to getting training done and implementation model done and making sure that students have access to the content and curriculum. But again, based on the complexity of the implementation and the size, the bigger the implementation, the more time it takes, but it's definitely not a long-range project that's going to take 3 or 4 months to get implemented. We can typically do these in 3 to 4 weeks and have everyone up to go and going very, very quickly. Okay, well, it doesn't seem like we have any additional questions that were coming in. And again, on behalf of everyone here at Pinnacle Education and InnovatED, we'd like to thank you for your participation in the webinar. You have the contact information for Brian Rose, who's our VP of Sales. It's up on the screen. And then we also have our business development reps who will be most likely getting in contact with everyone to see if there's any interest or to answer more questions about how we might participate in helping you address the needs of your summer school students. So thank you very much for your time and participation. We look forward to having an opportunity to serve you and your students in the future. Have a great day.